Well then, hello there, welcome to the show. Let's talk about Zbrush. This is the reason we are here today. So, what's about Zbrush? It is a very confusing software, like most 3D software. It has a lot of tools here, a lot of buttons there, and so much more everywhere. But it can be made simpler, thinking about the artistic side of it. Personally, I'm not really enjoying using tools and such. Just the most primitive bare things usually does it for me. So this means that I only use a few brushes. I use the clay build-up. Let me subdivide this. Clay build-up. And sometimes with the clay build-up, if I want a smoother stroke, you can see all the grains in here. You can go to the stroke and modifiers and roll distance, set this to 2 and you will get a smoother edge. You can compare it. After the clay build up, I use the move brush for defining proportions and such. The dam standard, if I want to cut into the mesh, do all kind of stuff. You can go outside with alt, or you can just doodle your engravings here. Twin dynamic, it's really great for making planar trimmings on your model, like some edgewares, sometimes metal, wood, any kind of something that needs a bit of trimming. You can use the trim brush, it's really great. And the standard, that's great for soft shapes, like think about cloth, for example. You can get like really nice clothing effects, combine it with other tools like them standard. Smoothing is something that I use sometimes, like a smooth alternative. To use smooth alternative, you just press shift, start smoothing, and then release the shift. This will give you, it will keep the volume more than the usual smooth. Like if you have, let's say we have this, and I want to smooth this, the usual smooth will try to get rid of all of the volume, but the alternative smooth will keep most of its shape and it will smooth the surface. As for usual workflows, you can say there are many ways to model. You can use Dynamesh for blockout, and Dynamesh will adapt based on your model size and based on everything. And with this you can actually do blockouts. I don't really recommend this for any kind of refinement, because this will not give you a refined look at all, but you will get a nice blockout out of it. You can use this, make some nice shape. I use clay build up, and I have all of these brushes, like these five brushes I have on my shortcuts. so I use them quite a lot. And you can do a lot of stuff with it. Can change the smooth, the proportions, the shape. What really matters when sculpting is thinking about volumes and thinking about the silhouette. Like, is this outside silhouette looking good for me? You can do whatever you want with it, to be honest. Like, for example, maybe I want this here, and you can also use in combination with masks. You should never really use one single brush for literally everything, but you should combine them in an artistic manner. Like, maybe I want something going out like so. I can just mask it, invert the mask, and move it. And since this is the block out, I don't care if it looks terrible at this point. I just need it to have a shape. I need to have proportions, and I need to have all of this in here. Let's just save this. And looking at the silhouette, I could really use some of this. I'll try to not to make it a long video, but a short and fun video, maybe 20 minutes or something. And we have our shape. You can use clay build-up. My favorite brush is clay build-up, so people really see me work with it a lot. I use it to build up volume. And don't really worry about the speed. If you are beginning this journey and you see people do stuff really fast and really amazing, don't just try to be that. You will get there. You just need to sculpt a lot, get the feeling of it, think about the nice shapes that you can make. And in this Dynamesh phase, I can go pretty far at this point. I can also increase the resolution, so I get more polygons to play with. But this is still for the blockout phase. I never intend to actually start detailing like getting small details here, because you won't really get that. Dynamesh literally projects everything on your mesh, like projects a triplanar quad grid on your mesh from three sides. And this is why the topology looks like this. It's not really what you'd look for when you talk about topology. And making details with this, not only is it hard, but it won't look the way it's supposed to look. Just move brush a bit. Can use combination, some trim dynamic to make some planar changes in here, some damn standard to plan out some shapes in here, something like this will work just fine for me right now. Now when it comes to detail, I always use zero measured and project. Not only zero measure will allow me to have a better topology for sculpting and detailing, but also having a zero meshed mesh with subdivisions and whatnot will give give me a better scene improvements. For example, if I'm happy with this right now, which I might be, let's just say, I can use zero measure and then I'm going to project some of the details from this to the zero meshed, or maybe not, that depends. Why do I say that I'm going to project some details? Is because I just duplicate this. You can go here and duplicate. Also, Shift Control D will duplicate it for you. And if I go here and press it, I'm going to solo mode. This will hide everything for the moment. And with this, I can go to the zero measure. You can find it here under the geometry. All the zero measure stuff, I just have it here for myself. And you can see the difference between these is night and day. These quads here that you have, if you have triangles and quads everywhere, it just all over the place, not really nice. And then the zero meshed look, you have a lot of nicer quads. These are like flowing and also more even, and even distribution of quads is very important. But you can see that by doing this, I'm losing some volume that maybe I want, maybe I don't. I can just go here and project all, and you see that I get some of the sharpness back. And this one I can just hide it now and disable the solo mode. From now on I can just work on this. I can use some smoothing to have it cleaner looking. But now I know what I want from my model at this point. I can just clean it up, smooth it, and then keep working on it. With this you can just go ahead, Ctrl D to subdivide and just work on it. And now we can actually do some nice details. I can just go ahead and mask this. Maybe I want a different shape. I can go to the lower version, lower subdivision, that is Shift D, and with the move brush I can still change the proportions if I want to. And this is something nice in Zbrush and in sculpting software, that you can easily do some details here. Like I can simply do this, go one subdivision and then refine it, and maybe go even one more subdivision and refine it more. That's one way to add stuff to your model. Or maybe you can just go ahead and do it on the last level of subdivision that you have. Block it out, trim it, cut it, do all cool kind of cool stuff with it. So someone was asking me that he wants to make some details on his model, but he didn't know if he could make the details only in the highest subdivision level, or maybe he was supposed to use the lower subdivision level and subdivide back, moving between one level or the other. And the answer to it is it depends. Like if you want to make some damage in here and do some lines and cut this shape in here, you can do it. Also, you can go into the lower subdivision, in a lower subdivision, and do some different types of changes, like a big change in shape and silhouette. And then you can go back to the higher subdivision and just give it a shot. Add more refinement to it. Let's see, a cut in here, one in here, to somehow make it feel like it's carved out. And sometimes shit happens, and it will make your model better or worse. Just embrace it. And then if you want, you can just go crazy sometimes. If your model is asking for it. But all of this doesn't really come overnight. It is some serious practice that you need to do. Just go around the model until I like what I'm looking at. just use some more brushes here for this crack. Something like this, and then some carvings in here. And I'll have to call this one done. My time is up and I don't have much time left anyway. I hope this helps somebody make some great sculpting. And the last tip of the day, never work without a reference. And if you think that I'm working without a reference out of my own head, then just wait a second. Then just know that I'm actually having a really cute reference. Let's give it a nice material to show all of these imperfections. Put it on the table, do whatever you want with it. My name is Robert, and have fun ZBrushing, everybody.